Hello, everybody. So today we're doing a Who's Better with our two guests, Johnny Gargano, represented by,
Daniel.
and then PAC, represented by.
Bourbon.
So you know the deal. So let's get straight into the entrances. So Johnny or PAC, which one of you wants to go first?
I'll let Bourbon go. Oh,
Johnny, you go first.
now I know you people are thinking this kiss ass is back in Gargano for the second time in a row. I know, but at least hear me out in this argument. So, this first category, the entrance, Rebel Heart, is honestly just a very catchy song. It fits Johnny Gargano, and it just makes sense for him. Now, PAC, he has a good theme. I'm not going to take away from it. It's also like a nice catchy beat, but does it really make you think of PAC? I don't think so. But when you hear Johnny Gargano's theme, you'll think of Johnny Gargano. So just for that impact alone, and I believe Johnny's theme is just more catchy, but of course music is, also personal preference, so anyone could have an opinion on the, sound of the song, but overall, I think I just have the better song, and yeah, the better entrance. So I'm going for Johnny.
Well, I feel like PAC has a better song myself, mainly because I think it fits his character way too much. PAC is a dick in a sense of where he's very dark. He does not care about anything. So with that sound, with his song Out of Time 2.0, when he just returned, it has this dark sense, and in the song, you hear him say, you're out of time, I'm in your head, saying that I don't care, I can beat you in your head, and inside the ring, you're gonna be out of time to attack me, more or less, I would say. And I think it just sounds great. Like, first few seconds is just scream, and it goes into this good beat, like big pound, pound, pound. It sounds great. It makes people want to pound their feet, like kind of catch the rhythm. It sounds great. I think that's why I say that PAC has the better song than anyone. And Rebel doesn't. Don't get me wrong. I would say I do like that song, but I still say that PAC has this nicer edge to him that with that song it fits him way too much.
Any other statements for you two?
Honestly, I feel like I made every point that I could make about the song, just I believe my song sounds better. Berman believes his song sounds better. So really that point is all up to you. But yeah, like I said, my main takeaway is that PAC's instrumental. Yeah, sure, like it's dark, but at the end of the day, that's really all it is. Just kind of another AEW instrumental. And again, I just feel like Johnny's theme just fits Johnny. It simply does. Johnny Gargano has the rebel heart. He's willing to stick up for what he believes in, and he will always fight with as much heart as possible in every single in every single match he has. So yeah, overall, that's just all I really have to say. That's my final point for Johnny. And yeah, that's really.
And again, technically, it's not an instrumental. Yes, there's a good amount of part that is an instrumental, but half of the song is an instrumental. The other half has lyrics to it, so it's not an instrumental song.
Well, to me, it just sounds like one. All right, you go ahead, Chris.
You're gonna take that shit, Bourbon. You're gonna take that shit from Daniel.
Well, at the end, tell to tell that I win this one.
All right. Well, you both made very excellent points. Of course, Rebel Heart is Johnny's thing, and of course, Out of Time is for PAC. Both excellent types of entrances for these type of wrestlers. But at the end of the day, we just gotta count down to like which one hits the hardest and which one's more memorable. So for that instance, Rebel Heart will get this point. 1 for Johnny. Now to the next category, finishers.
I'll go first because I wouldn't go for this one myself. My finishers, 2 finishers. I have a main finisher, and I have a submission finisher. His main finisher is the Black Arrow, which everyone knows is probably his staple. His corkscrew splash from the top rope. You don't see anyone else doing that in the wrestling scene except him. He invented that shit. So no one can take that away from him. He invented that goddamn black arrow. So it was way too good to not use it. And then the other one is the Brutalizer, which is used to be called the Rings of Saturn in WWE. And it is a great submission. It looks painful because it just stretches your arms out. So it looks so bad. And the great thing is how PAC uses it in a combination where usually, if he wants to do it, usually does a black arrow into the back of the opponent, whoever he's going against, and then as soon as he lands to it, he goes right into a Brutalizer with no second doubt. He goes right into it and goes in. That submission is just so quick transition. That's why I say that this finishers are the better finishers than Johnny Gargano.
Okay, so I don't really have too much to say on this one, other than you are correct on the fact that the Black Arrow is very unique for PAC. And yeah, there's definitely nothing I could take away from that. And you could definitely make the argument that Gargano's finishers, the Gargano Escape and the One Final Beat, might be more simplistic. But to argue it, it's also like when you think about the impact of the move, the One Final Beat, it's a literal DDT straight to the mat. Like your head is like driving into the mat. That's always going to be painful and have an impact for sure. And a DDT is always a believable end to a match. So yeah, and then the Gargano Escape, it's also just a great finisher in my personal opinion for the submission. And yeah, that's really all I could say. Like PAC definitely has more of the unique finisher, but I definitely think my finisher from like a psychology standpoint, I think has that bigger impact. And that's just my personal belief on it. And that's really all I'm going to leave that. So I'm going to give this point to Johnny Gargano.
Well, on his counter, because I like doing this because it's funny, that one is that the One Final Beat hasn't been his finisher for so long. The thing is funny to me is that when he first started in NXT, his finisher, really, we didn't know. First, it was a Gargano Escape. Sometimes it was just a rolling pin. We really did not know what was his finisher. We had no idea. Then he Gargano Escape. But then One Final Beat came in very late in the game. So I feel like to me, that's another thing that shows that Red Arrow and Red Arrow has been there for the longest time. Even since he was in NXT as Adrian Neville, he was still the Red Arrow, then Black. So it shows that his finisher has been a staple of him for his entire career, and Johnny Gargano's staple was always the Gargano Escape and not the One Final Beat.
Okay, well, I did say I was not going to say anything, but I do have stuff to counter there, so this is what I will say. When it comes to the One Final Beat, his first victory with that move, with that finisher, was in January 2018 against Aleister Black. So, sure, you could make that argument that's not a staple, but he's been doing it for 5.5 years, and he's won multiple matches with that move as well. He also won with that move against Ricochet and many others. So, yeah, sure, he might not have had that finisher for as long as PAC has had the Black Arrow, but I don't think that really changes anything, personally.
No, because I think it's just saying that WWE never really liked that One Final Beat. That's what I'm mainly saying, is that WWE never liked the One Final Beat until they got forced to use that DDT to say that Johnny Gargano has a better finisher. But when they saw PAC's Red Arrow, they instantly said, oh, he's going to have that for a whole entire life. That shows that something saying that PAC's is better finisher than the One Final Beat.
Well, I'll let you decide. Chris, what's your take?
Now we move on to the overall moveset.
Danny, you go first.
Okay. So, I'm not going to lie. When you think about Gargano and when you think about PAC, both guys kind of have similarities in their styles, where they're both very athletic and they can both do that technical style as well. So, they're definitely pretty similar in terms of styles. There's nothing to take away from that. But in terms of Gargano's moveset, I can think of a lot of the signatures he has, whether it's that kneeling super kick, Whether it's, like I said, the finishers with Gargano Escape One Final Beat. He also has the Lawn Dart. He also has his own version of the Beach Break. And, you know, he has many other moves as well. And he has a lot of dives, a lot of creative kicks. One of my favorite kicks in the business is his, like, roll up into, like, a kick to the side of the head. I think it's just a great move right there. So, yeah, I think when you think about Gargano's moveset, he has had many classics, and he's done many things to wow people. Reverse, Frankensteiners, many things. And, yeah, he just has a track record of classics, and it's thanks to not only the emotion he puts into the match, but the moves he is hitting, and the physicality between them. Anytime you hear Johnny Gargano hit a super kick, the whole arena is going to hear it. So, yeah, that's my personal point for Johnny Gargano.
All right, I'm going for PAC. PAC has the better moveset to me because it fits his character perfectly too. His character is a brutalizer who likes to beat their opponent as much and as brutally as he can, and his moveset has the most brutal setup, and it's probably the brutal kicks that he does. He does his super kick, same thing as Johnny Gargano. I feel like Johnny Gargano feels like PAC's super kick has more oomph to it, like has more impact to me when I've seen him use that super kick, or he uses a great deadlift German that I've seen so many people do German suplexes, but he does a great deadlift German suplex that feels great to see, and I think that there's no comparison to that, and has so many great over the rope moonsaults, over the rope what's it called, corkscrew twist press finisher outside. He has a drop kick to the head, he has drop kicks to the back, he does inverted Frankensteiners. He does a bunch of he does Spanish flies sometimes, but he has a great way to go into these moves so fluently. His moveset is just so easy, and it flows like water. It can go into one move to the other, to the next with no stopping. It just flows so well. And how PAC fits this whole thing, his attitude when delivering these moves sounds like he's just pissed off the guy. He just doesn't. He says, "Well, you did something to me. I'm going to hurt you back as hard as I possibly can." Every kick he does looks like it will break someone's rib if it wanted to. It has the most impact, and everything PAC does has the best impact too. And for Johnny, there's not a lot of things I'm going to say except that rolling kick that Johnny does. He stole that from Kalisto. Kalisto used that move before Johnny ever did. So that's the only thing I would say for Johnny. I'm taking PAC for myself.
First off, that is factually not true. And second off, if we want to go off moves from other people, I could go on PAC for all day, but I'm not even going to go there. All I'm going to say is that for Johnny Gargano's super kick, you say that PAC super kick has more impact, but Johnny Gargano has actually won matches with the super kick. PAC has never won a match with the super kick. So that right there is just kind of like proving the fact that PAC's super kick can be strong, but it'll never be strong enough to finish a match.
But it sets up his finisher. That still counts. That super kick sets up his finisher, either the red arrow or a brutalizer. You always set up.
Man, when you beat someone, people are going to think about the final move. So people are going to think about the red arrow, but they're not going to think about his super kick.
If it finally gets to Young Bucks.
You think the Young Bucks created super kicks?
Yes, they do it too many times.
Shawn Michaels created the super kick.
Not in AEW, is it?
What? No, hold on. How does that make any sense? No. Rewind that back. The Young Bucks invented the super kicks in AEW. What?
That's how it is to me. I always see that.
No sense. Hold on. No. That makes no sense because the Lucha also did the super kicks. Many other wrestlers also did the super kicks. They didn't invent shit.
Oh, so they invented the super kick party.
All right, sure. You could go with that. Whatever, Maine. You go, Chris. What's your take?
All right. So I have to agree in Daniel's favor because as much as I do enjoy PAC's move variety, at the end of the day, we just gotta feel like in this category, I feel like the most impact should be done. So for this case, I'm gonna give it to Johnny Gargano for the better move set. And sure, the super kick's been done to death or what have you, and I understand that PAC also uses super kick, but he does it for a very different reason for the finisher compared to Gargano's moveset. So I'm gonna give it to Gargano. I'm confident for this one. So 2 Gargano, 1 PAC. Now we go into the mic skills.
All right, I'm gonna take this one myself. I feel like PAC has its mic skills perfectly too. That he has been in a lot of factions, the Death Triangle and everything. Every time he talks, first thing he has this English accent where it fits how his character is. He has this weird, like he has this English accent that looks like he acts like a gangster, like a British gangster, or like he really feels like everyone is below him. That he would not care. And every type of as an interview, any type of promo he ever does against someone, he is just always have that attitude of being pissed off, and in some of these mics, and some of the stuff he always does in the mic is just aggressive, mean, and I think it just fits how PAC, his character and everything about him. And I feel like PAC will always kill on a mic if he gets a microphone in his hand. So that's the only thing I gotta say. I say PAC has the mic skills completely.
Now, guys, I might get hate on this. Every time I see PAC with the microphone, I just feel like the dude speaks some gibberish. Like, I'm not even saying it as like, oh, he's hard to understand. No, it's like a genuine, what the fuck is he talking about sometimes? Whereas you go over to Johnny Gargano, he puts all the heart, all the passion, all the soul into the majority of his promos. And anytime he needs to be involved with the promo that involves a bit of comedy, he will be able to have good comedic timing. And I'm not arguing whether it may be funny or not. That is up to what is written. But what is up to the actor when they're given the material is to make the best out of it. And you cannot argue the fact that Gargano has made the best out of everything he's been given. So, personally, I think this mic skills category, you can kind of make arguments for the other categories about who is better, but for this category in particular, I kind of find it to be a no-brainer that it goes to Gargano.
I have nothing else to say, Chris.
I'm sorry to do this, but I have to give it the mic skills to Gargano because if I'm being quite honest with you, I don't really remember PAC. He's an excellent wrestler, but when it comes to the promo skills, I don't really remember much from him, and he's been in AEW for quite a long time. Sure, he does the hype thing, but Gargano, it's classic. There's always so many things to quote by him, so I'm sorry, man. I gotta give it to Gargano for this category as well. So now, we move on to the face category.
Alright, now, I'm not going to be rude about this one. Because PAC has shown in the past, he does have what it takes to be a face. But that's just not in PAC's nature. What is Johnny Gargano's nature, however, is his babyface work. And you can even make an argument that the NXT story he had, ranging from 2016 all the way to winning the title in 2019, may very well be some of the very best babyface work we have ever seen. And I know that sounds very like over the top, but it's true. It's really true. And I feel like Johnny Gargano, as a face, that's just who he is to his core. So I got to give it to Gargano.
Now, I'm not going to dispute that Gargano has a better face, but it's still saying that I feel like PAC has a great face. Don't get me wrong, his nature is a heel. He's a complete heel, but as a face, he can get it done if he wanted to. In WWE and WWE, he showed that when he was Adrian Neville, or Neville, that he shows that he can be a fan favorite. He had been a fan favorite for a long time in NXT when he was champion, NXT champion. And then when he was moved up to the main roster, everyone really liked him. When he was fighting against John Cena, everyone really loved Adrian Neville or Neville. And he showed that his face, he can be a face if he wanted to. He just doesn't do that much anymore, but I still say that I think he has a great face when he wants to be a face.
All right. Now, all I'll say is that we both made fair points. I'll leave it up to Chris.
Mm-hmm. And again, I'll give PAC the benefit of the doubt. He does try as a good face, but let's be real here. Face goes to Johnny Gargano. Now, I think we all know who's going to win the whole category. I'm sorry, but I'll let you guys talk. Maybe you'll change my mind. But let's go on.
There's nothing to talk about that. PAC is winning that shit completely. He's the best heel. He's the better heel than Johnny Gargano ever been.
Then
So,
you want to attempt to say something?
Gargano already has 4 points. There's 7 categories.
Oh.
Technically, I already won, but I will say this. Yeah, I'm not going to argue shit on the heel category. I'll have
Okay.
this one.
Well, there you go, Burby. You won one. You get one. And now, I know Johnny's won the debate, but I think the next match we should talk about anyway. Who has the better match? So whoever wants to go first, go for it.
I'm down to talk about it. So, yeah, my match I chose is Gargano versus Almas. When I did the Gargano versus Ciampa episode, I chose the Adam Cole match, the 3 stages of hell. But for this one, I'm choosing the Andrade Almas match. Not only is this the best match of Andrade's career, but Gargano put on such an all-timer performance that is remembered to this day, 5.5 years later, with Andrade. And honestly, there aren't many matches I can point to and be like, I want to show my future children that match, my future grandchildren that match. There isn't many matches like that. But this is one of them. Because this match, it's a roller coaster. It means a lot. And even when the people didn't get the result they wanted, it all made sense for the story, and it had everybody, including myself, hooked. This is undeniably a masterpiece.
Yeah. And my best match is PAC versus Kenny Omega at All In. This was a great match too. This is probably PAC's best match out of his entire career, I would say. And they had so many great moments in this match. Kenny Omega, the god of wrestling, did so many things and they both kind of made each other big in this match. They always equaled itself out. They always made a lot of things that helped each other. They moved each other back and forth, and they had so many great moments that thought, oh, PAC is gonna win. Then, oh no, maybe Kenny's gonna win. It goes back and forth always. It's very unpredictable, I would say. And it had so many fun matches. PAC coming in as a heel, being a dirtbag as he is, a bastard as he is. It fits perfectly for how Kenny and PAC. It was a very personal rivalry, and it ended very great too. So I would say PAC myself.
All right. Anything else you guys wish to say?
No.
All right. So I may have gave majority of the points out of Gargano, but I feel like I do enjoy the Johnny Gargano versus Andrade match. And plus, there was that great interference with his assistant. I keep forgetting her name.
Selena Vega.
Selena Vega, thank you. So, but that being said, I will strictly just have to give it to PAC versus Kenny because overall, it was just like a dream made true. Like, you have two acrobatic dudes just going at it back and forth. Not to discredit Gargano or Andrade by any means, because that match is excellent too. But over the edge, in my personal favorite kind of wrestling, I'll give it to PAC versus Omega. But he still lost, so.
No.
So
No,
Johnny
alright.
Gargano is better than PAC. So it was a good video, and I thank you all for watching.
Yep.
You two want to say anything?
All I'll
Peace out,
say.
guys.
Oh.
Yep. Peace out.
Oh. You, bro? Alright, Burma said bye. Okay, thank you for watching. We'll see you next
Yeah.
time.